the baddest shark around? Who's the smartest shark in town? Skybite, that's me. We'll drive Scourge into the ground and never let old Megatron down. Skybite, that's me.
You're watching Radio Free Cybertron. For the latest Transformer news, reviews, and more, visit tformers.com.
This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 376, recorded July 30th, 2014. My God. We keep losing time. They say time is the fire in which we burn, and actually, it's not. Oh man, now I'm thinking about Star Trek Generations, and I just really want to talk about Star Trek Generations for an hour. XV, do you want to talk about...
How about Nemesis?
Okay, that makes me... Thank you. I feel much better now. So, Radio Free Cybertron is the Transformers Internet Radio Show. The world's first Transformers podcast. One of the world's first podcasts in general. We've been doing this for almost 15 years.
And 5 of those consecutively.
5? No. Well, if you add it all together, it's like 9.
Not consecutively.
No, well, 2 chunks consecutively. I'm your host, Brian Kilby. With me, we have Headmaster Don, XV, Diecast, and Melvar. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Good evening.
Me? I need
More
Hasbro
caffeine?
Toy Shop to put up the exclusives. It's driving me mad.
This is the latest that I've been following this for at least 6 years at this point, and this is the latest that they've gone up. I've been buying since at least 2008.
It'll probably be Monday or Wednesday, I think.
Well, it's usually the Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday after SDCC.
Right, but we're past that point now, so
Yes, we are.
Give them the next week's worth.
I'm not going to trust that.
Or it'll be
Yeah.
3:30 a.m. just random day. Just boom, there it goes up.
No, it's never 3:30 a.m. They do it during business hours. It'll be like, between 9:30 and 11:30 Eastern.
Yep.
They've done it as late as like 5 p.m. before, like once.
What year was that?
2008.
Okay. I don't even remember what the exclusive was that year.
Was it Sergeant Slaughter? Or I think the Joe exclusive, the Transformers exclusive was Nemesis Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the classics Nemesis Prime.
Yeah, I bought it stupidly.
There's nothing wrong with that figure. I have that.
I got it, but I paid like $20 for it.
Yeah, that's how much I paid for it.
I paid about $45 for mine, but it worked out well because I got the Shadow Commander armor, so that.
Yeah, mine is wearing a Shadow Commander armor right now.
So, actually, speaking of SDCC, we have all the news to talk about. We went into detail, I would say, on a YouTube exclusive video that we posted last week. If you want to go back and watch that, you can. But we will run through that fairly quickly today, but we'll talk about all of the big news, combiners, and all the other news from the past week. First thing, though, I want to mention that if you go to transformersdom.com or tfradio.net/blog, you'll see a post about a trivia contest that I put together this past weekend. My cousin each year does a local sci-fi con at the public library. We helped out with that back in 2011 when JD, Chris McFeely, and I did a presentation on the Avengers. Well, this weekend I put together a presentation on Transformers, and it was a contest. It was pretty fun. We have the presentation, the slides online as a downloadable PDF, as well as a YouTube video if you want to watch that. But the guys here supposedly haven't actually read that, so later on in the show I'm going to test their knowledge. Hint, they're going to get them all around.
So you're going to test our might.
Yes, I'm going to test your might. But basically, I tried to create it for like a more general audience. I was surprised how many people actually got. I was really impressed by that. But I'm going to see what you guys think with my Transformers trivia contest from Wilkes Library Con 2014. It's going to be awesome. That's how we're going to end off the show this week. But first, I want to jump to This Week in History. So, happy birthday to Michael Bell. This day in history, in 1938, Michael Bell was born. Michael Bell is awesome. He's one of the coolest dudes around. And speaking of coolest dudes, in 1959, Marty Eisenberg was born today, the same day. So that's pretty cool. Two guys, huge impact to Transformers and Parquet Butter. Michael Bell and Marty Eisenberg. Michael Bell was the Parquet Butter voice.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Butter. Yeah, back at OTFCC 01, he gave this really funny talk about it. Or it might have been the Cold Hard Slag interview, but it was really great.
I know at that convention appearance he gave the other really funny talk, but
he's given a lot of funny talks.
Yeah.
But specifically, he's not the voice of the Parquet Butter now. Apparently some German dude beat him in the last time they did auditions for it. But Michael Bell, pretty awesome. I don't think the Cold Hard Slag interview is online anymore. I need to check with Heath or Tim and see if those are on. I'd love to host that stuff. But we had an interview with Marty Eisenberg a couple of years ago, and it is totally worth watching. So he was a great guy. It was a lot of fun. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, with Marty, it's a lot of people gave him a lot of flack for Beast Machines, but
he was one of the saving graces of Beast Machines.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, and considering we got animated too, it was just like
and some darn fine episodes of Transformers Prime.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, Marty Eisenberg is awesome. We love you, Marty. Happy birthday. Okay. So let's quickly just recount the San Diego Comic-Con news. The big reveal was something we already anticipated, which was combiners. So what do you guys think? Cool? Not cool?
Love it.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. I see a lot of potential in this.
Yeah, loving everything except the possible distribution issues. But again, we talked about that ordering cases online and things such as this. So there's ways of getting it.
A discussion about that exact same topic came up in my real life. It was weird. So my friend Dusty was talking to his brother, and his brother was really excited about these, but he was complaining that these are going to be packed in 2 different waves. So he was like, I want them, but I'm never going to get them. I'm like, you'll get them. But I just thought that was really interesting that people that are not in the sphere of Transformers nerddom actually pay attention to that stuff. I was honestly really surprised.
Yeah, I'd be surprised too.
Well, but if nothing else, I think with all the influence the movies have had, good or bad, the casual Transformer fan is now more aware of the ins and outs of trying to find these figures.
Suffering through, yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up the pictures. I don't have the stock photos anymore, so I'm pulling them from tformers.com. If you go to tformers.com, there is just this huge blowout of SDCC news. It's a lot of hard work went into that, so check it out. Man, it seems like the site's being hit pretty hard with even now with all this news. I can't get it to load. But yeah, so if you go to, like I said, Tformers, or go to our YouTube channel, you can actually check out those photos. So we're getting Superion and Minosaur. And some changes have been made. Which aerial bot are we losing?
Slingshot.
So we're losing Slingshot and getting a helicopter.
Alpha Bravo.
Alpha Bravo. And I think Chris McFeely said it best. He was like, gasp! How dare Hasbro do it? Make a change to the aerial bots to make one distinctive amongst the others. I mean, it's like totally true. I mean, like, they are the most boring combiner group, and other than Silverbolt,
you know who was most distinctive before Alpha Bravo was Skydive, Black One.
I mean, it depends.
Air Raid,
okay.
Not counting Silverbolt.
But see, that just of the small ones though. But that just shows how little they stand out because I couldn't even remember which one the black one was.
But
he's just the black one among all the red and white ones.
If you're talking G2, if you're talking G2, it's Slingshot because he's the broken one.
Well, yeah, and maybe that's why they're distancing themselves from Slingshot now.
Mine's not, and thank you, Jake, again. You're my hero.
And it's not going to be because you're never going to touch it.
I'm so afraid, but here he is. He's beautiful. I do not want to touch it, but it's so great.
Just break it right on camera, Brian. It'll be great.
No.
I was saying that helicopter is going to be part of Defensor, and in the Defensor wave, we'll get another jet that we can put with Superion.
I doubt we'll get another jet, but it makes total sense that he'll be, was it Blades?
Blades.
Yeah.
He also kind of has Vortex's head.
He could be all three.
Could be. Or, like my theory is they're kind of try to make these a little bit modular. So, maybe the head from one can be the head of another one down the line a little bit.
Depending on how simplistic the engineering is, that's totally possible. I mean, if you look at I'm going to generalize and say if you look at the way that the original Scramble City combiners were made, they were
very simplistic.
Yeah, very simplistic, and some of the heads were potentially interchangeable since the arms and legs often had that little joint that you could pop their head out and use it to connect it to the shoulder.
Right.
So realistically, those might have been the same part between Transformers. I don't know. Not all of them were that way. Certainly, Brawl wasn't. But
yeah, the specifically peg-headed ones though were generally interchangeable.
Generally, not always. But yeah, so that would be really cool. So Minosaur, we're also getting. I don't think Minosaur looks quite as good as Superion, strangely. But
it is weird because this might be the first Superion toy to be developed that does not look immediately regrettable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like we finally get a Superion that's not Mr. Floppy Pants.
Again, immediately regrettable.
Yeah. So didn't they name one of the Micromaster combiners Superion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty nice though.
Yeah, the KB.
Well, it was until the combiner parts started crumbling to dust because they were made of gold plastic.
Actually, I never noticed that.
For the KB Superion set?
I have one. What's left of it?
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Well,
total gold plastic, man.
All the other Micromaster combiners are pretty great.
The other ones should be fine. I don't think they were gold.
No, they're not. But yeah, so let's see here. So we also had the first footage of Robots in Disguise. As we described, it has sort of a Beast Machines-y feel to it. Sort of Beast Machines mixed with animated Prime and Love. I don't know. I'm getting a good feeling from it.
It has energy to it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it definitely has an energy that it's not exactly what we've seen before, and it's pretty exciting. It looks more exciting than Prime did, to be honest. To me, Prime, you watch Prime, it reads like an 80s Marvel comic. It's just kind of slow and plodding. Even though so much stuff happened in an 80s Marvel comic, somehow they still typically were kind of slow. Kind of hard. But yeah, so that looks pretty cool. And let's see here. We got other stuff as well. That was the big news. What else? I know I'm missing something.
IDW is doing tie-in comics for Combiner Wars.
Yeah.
Which is going to be across at least 3 issues of Robots in Disguise and the second Windblade miniseries.
And I don't think we mentioned that. Was that the second Windblade miniseries announced at SDCC?
I think we knew that was coming.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we knew about that before. I can't remember if we knew about it as far back as BotCon, though. But we knew in advance of SDCC.
I don't think I read that in the news. So that's I assumed, but that's news to me. So, but yeah. So let's see. And there are a couple other things. Nothing really major. We saw, I think, some licensed toys. I don't really pay attention to licensed third-party stuff. It usually doesn't interest me, especially in the U.S. In Japan, it's a little more exciting. We have things like the Convoy pin and the upcoming, actually, which we'll talk about. Heck, let's talk about it now. We have new photos of the Scorponok, that is a Titan-class figure, non-transformable. But also, we found out that it's going to be made available as a Black Zarak as well. That's pretty sweet.
So
Yeah,
you
so
can
maybe
spend
it's
$700 for non-transformable toys.
$570, I think, is the Japanese retail. So yeah, $700 probably makes sense.
I mean, it looks beautiful, but I'm just going to say this because I've said this before. I know, as simple as of a transformation as Scorponok is, I can't see for that price it would not have been.
It should be able to lay down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you lay down, you flip the legs up, you twist the tail around. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it looks great.
It looks great.
But I just think for the money, they could have worked in a simple transformation like that. But I'm not an engineer. I'm not Scotty. I don't know.
I almost wonder if it's a licensing thing, because why are you going to license someone to make a transforming toy if that's what you do?
Exactly. That's like, I've heard that speculation before, and I think that probably hitting it, Takara and Hasbro, neither one are going to let someone else produce a competitive product with their IP that has all the function of a first-party toy.
That's a really good point. I haven't thought about that.
Right.
You know, that's why things like the pens kind of shoot that in the foot, but it may be an exception.
Well, no,
it's a pen.
The pen doesn't follow like a Hasbro play pattern. It's a freaking pen.
Yeah, I mean it's a completely different form, and like the other exceptions are there's the Bear Bricks, which are again a different form factor entirely, and there was the super deformed Roadbuster, but Takara maybe doesn't have entirely the licensing for the likeness of that, because that was
Bandai, wasn't it?
Bandai owns that now. They didn't originally, but Bandai acquired that when the original company folded.
But yeah, so and honestly, even though Takara released the music label figures, I could totally have really seen that those should have been done by a third party because the electronics are crappy. But God, Scorponok looks fantastic.
It looks really good.
I mean, I would love that black.
If you want a $700 Action Master, there you go.
We don't, but it looks really good.
Ooh, that would be great. Yeah, I love that. Now that you mentioned that, that's like even better. God, I love that.
Although, I mean, if it's articulated enough, you probably could like Action Master Elite it and just lay it down and fold the legs over the back of it.
Yeah, it looks pretty great. So,
and what you could do is take maybe a little bit of slingshot G2 dust and sprinkle it around the figure for battle damage.
It's pretty good. So let's see here. So what else do we have? Actually, that came from was it Wonder Festival?
Yeah, Wonder Fest.
We also had the first shot in first that I know of in general information around the Convoy PlayStation figure, which goes with the Mega Drive Megatron that I have on the way.
Brian's gonna have to buy it.
I'm disappointed that it's not Super Family Convoy.
Apparently the reasoning is because you're calling it Optimus Prime and not Convoy, and Optimus Prime original PlayStation. It's a matchup like that. The initials.
OP.
But still, the family Convoy just works on so many levels. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It does look like a PlayStation, and he comes with a controller. That's looks like a weapon or something that connects, which is kind of weird. But it's not bad looking at all.
No, it's not.
I don't feel the need to own it like I did the Mega Drive Megatron, but I guess because I'm getting that, I might as well get this.
Now, if they make a sound wave that's a Sega Nomad, would you have to get that?
Actually, that would be pretty good. He's probably more I would say that he'd probably be, instead of a Nomad, he'd probably be a Game Gear. At least there's some name recognition with that.
And if they want to get really out of the box, they can make Shockwave out of out of the JVC XI.
Yeah.
So you think if they're going to redo Soundwave, they should make him into something that we actually use nowadays?
They did. He was an MP3 player for a music label. It was a crappy MP3 player.
And Shockwave would have to be an NES Zapper.
Oh. Actually, it probably looked better as a Sega Menacer. Would probably look better.
Okay,
no, that would be Tread Shot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well then let me ask you this: who would the Nintendo 8-bit floor mat dance mat be?
Blaster.
Yeah.
Frenzy.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Figure out a way for that thing to transform, and we'll make it Blaster.
Actually, how about you take what was the name of the robot? Rob. How about Rob becomes Bot?
Yeah. I mean, we need an official Bot figure.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. We have to commemorate one of the best episodes of G1 with a toy.
Yeah. Best episodes. So
I thought Bot could be like the Virtual Boy.
Oh, yeah.
That I think he looks more like like Rob. But
no, actually, I think the Virtual Boy. I think the Rodimus Prime would be better for the Virtual Boy.
I agree.
All that red.
So, we actually mentioned the Pen Convoy, and we have new photos, and my God, it looks even better than it did.
And I wish they would stop making this thing look so good. I don't want to spend that much money for a pen.
I am. Yeah. One of them, and it's going to be Optimus, and it's gorgeous.
I don't even think it's a pen. It's a pen holder, isn't it?
Basically.
I mean, that's what we've been figuring the whole time anyway, because if it runs out of ink, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I think the pen is actually in his gun.
Probably.
Well, I'm not going to bring up where I saw his pen because XV will make comments on it again.
I don't want to know.
Oh, God, those new photos are good.
Aren't they? They're great.
His pen is where, Don?
You can figure it out.
No, that was the joke, Don.
Yeah, I know. Oh, hey, actually, Fazade in the chat came up with Soundwave can be a Game Boy and the games are just cassettes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can do the same thing with a Game Gear.
Or you could do that with the same thing with an NES or SNES or any of those.
Well, no.
He's portable. He's portable. He's portable. I get it.
Because, and it has the screen that you can make be the chest window.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I was thinking one of the handhelds.
I retract what I said.
Good. You should.
I should.
Game Gear was the best ever because it had a battery on a cord that you could just hook on the side.
Don't hear every day. That's something you don't hear every day either. Game Gear was the best ever.
I still have my Game Gear.
Does the screen work?
Diecast?
I think so.
Check it.
Does the TV tuner still work?
No.
That I never got.
Yeah, but check it. So the capacitors in the Game Gear will go bad, and you have to fix it with a cap kit. So cap kit's $15, but
I love the pens, Brian. It's just the Prime looks good. The Nemesis Prime looks good. The Magnus just looks kind of
plain.
Yeah,
that's the point.
I know,
but that's also, if I remember right, that's exclusive to Hobby Link Japan. So
yeah,
let them worry about that.
Yeah.
But here's something. Imagine how good that will look in the shattered glass colors too.
No. Well, we're at
the Evangelion colors, which are basically the same thing.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
What?
The Evangelion colors. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh. If they do that, hopefully they'll do that in those Evangelion colors.
Oh God! If they do this in Powered Convoy colors, I'm going to kill them.
that would probably be an exclusive thing too, though.
I would kill them. Yeah. So at Wonderfest, we also got images of at least the package for Wheeljack, and that's still coming. Can't forget that.
In September now, I think, instead of August.
Yeah, it fell back.
Oh, that's so
That's
sad.
okay.
That's one less thing in August, dude.
It's only 1 month. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but
I've got so many things in August. My list is ridiculous. Let's see here. What else do we have? Lots of news this week. So you can pre-order Age of Extinction on iTunes if you want, in HD and SD. I don't know why you would get it.
If you want, but I don't know why you would want to.
Yeah, it's available.
I already ordered this Steelbook from Best Buy.
Cool. It's available on September 30th. Even though I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to be wrong. But I'm going to say this now. Even though right now the projections are that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to make $65 million this weekend, I think it's going to be the top grossing movie of the summer.
It's looking pretty solid from everything I'm hearing. So I think it's going to give Age of Extinction a good run.
Early expectation, 65 million. I'm saying it's going to be closer to 90, but we'll see. I'll probably Monday.
Well, we'll check back in with you next week.
I'll be wrong. Yes. So if you want that, let's see here. What else do we have?
So I mean, the obvious question now is: are we doing a commentary track for Age of Extinction?
Oh God, yeah. We still need to go back and do one for the 2007 movie. I didn't realize.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Riff Tracks already has that covered. I don't think we could really. I don't think we need to retread that.
Oh. Hey, if just a quick side tangent, Guardians of the Galaxy has dropped a little bit on Rotten Tomatoes. If you follow,
it's 93 last I checked. What is it now?
It's 94.
Oh, it's up. It's up one.
Yeah,
it went from 97. Went from 97 to 93. Now it's 94. That's great.
Okay. Because last time I saw it was still under 100%.
No, it was 97. The Associated Press reviewer gave it a negative review, which he's fine to do, but his review didn't make a lot of sense because he said Marvel movies are all these, but stiff shirt movies, and why is Marvel doing this comedy?
Because it's fun?
Well, has he been watching DC movies and thinking they're Marvel? Because Marvel movies are full of humor. So I just didn't get it.
I think he's probably thinking of Coulson for the suit part, and I don't think he's really getting it deeper than that.
Yeah, but obviously it's not going to be 100. I don't even know a thing about the new Guardians of the Galaxy, which makes me happy that I'm going in completely oblivious. But I was really hoping that it would be that it would beat Captain America, at least as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes. I don't know that it will. I think Captain America was like a 91 or something. And by the time all the reviews are in, I'm expecting this will probably drop to the 80s. Yeah, I just want Marvel to have a license to print money. And, DC is struggling. I love that. Not that I don't like DC, but I hate...
I don't.
They're just bad at making movies.
They're bad at making movies. They're great at making movies that make money. Because even domestically, even Superman, Man of Steel made like $300 million, but it was so boring. And Dark Knight Rises is so boring.
Yeah.
And
actually, Age of Extinction is kind of like a DC movie,
but it doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, it's entirely too long. If you think about the story too much, you feel sad.
Yeah,
and I mean, there's just they try to have fun in them, but they don't.
I would like to see somebody do a DC movie other than Nolan or Zack Snyder. But
I remember watching Dark Knight Rises also, and that just seemed like it went on forever and ever and ever.
It does, but of course, but yeah, it does. I'm sorry, DC fans. I love DC. I used to be a DC guy over a Marvel guy, but DC has kicked me in the crotch for the last 10 years. I can't do it anymore.
We love DC for that.
Can't do it anymore. Okay, so but we will have a Fanboy Versus special this coming weekend around Guardians of the Galaxy, supposedly.
Maybe,
which will be good. It'll be good to get everybody together for that. Let's see here. So at SDCC, one thing I failed to mention is I don't think we mentioned this during our special either. Is we are getting Creo Battle Changers, which are Creo figures that you don't have to disassemble to transform.
Oh, that's awesome! That's what I've been asking for. They may not be.
No, I think they look great.
Yeah?
Relatively speaking.
So, do you think this is do you think this is something to replace the construct bots?
I don't know. That's a great question. I honestly, I don't know how well construct bots are doing. I
not well. They're at 5 below. So
logging shells.
Yeah.
But these look pretty cool.
I don't really think this is a direct, take the place of construct bots thing. I think it's more like, okay, here's our focus group information on why Creo is not working. Let's try doing this. I think it's an internal thing. It's not a, let's fill this product gap where this other product's failing with our original failing product.
They're okay. That Prime is kind of, in truck mode, is kind of wonky looking.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. With a building block toy, you're never going to get a really good transformation without, disassembly.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it was just a matter of like break down the limbs from the torso and everything, and put them in different places, even that would be kind of okay.
Can't they just turn into little balls and then magically?
God. Oh God! Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, please don't say that. No.
Because that would make sense in my mind.
Oh no, and that's actually perfect. The Transformers from Age of Extinction were just Creos.
Creos that somebody kicks apart, and then they fly across space.
Yeah, Creos that just explode into clouds of individual blocks, and they form the alternate. It makes perfect sense now.
God. Okay. Let's see here. So what else do we have? So the Age of Extinction G1 style Voyager Slog is up for pre-order. And for some reason, I pre-ordered that. And I really don't know why. I probably should cancel that.
Well, here's something. I just pulled that up, Brian, because I was still debating on that myself. The frequently bought together items on the page, they have added a 12-cent washer, a brass coupler that you can buy with that figure.
Are they trying to get some sort of discount or something?
Well, it's a penny shy of the new free shipping. So if you buy this washer for 12 cents, it will put you over the free shipping level.
So it's they don't have that free shipping at $25. Is it like $35 now?
They upped it to $35. Around last Christmas.
Well, I have to admit, in the last it's been around for 8 years now. Inflation does kind of suck. So I'm okay with that.
I just thought that was.
I have Prime anyway.
I was thinking, what can I find to add a penny to that? And then they suggest sell a brass washer for 12 cents.
That's pretty great.
Well, last week they had Rhinox, Double Dealer, and Sandstorm for $4.50 a piece as part of their add-on program to get you up to those levels.
Oh,
cool.
That's neat.
So one last item in the official news. Takara Tomy is now offering high-quality prints of Japanese box art. It's only like $400. If this is Don, I could really see these in your living room.
I can't.
Now,
if you or somebody wants to get them as a Christmas gift, that will be fine. But otherwise, I'll wait for the box art book coming out later on in the year.
Or I think it may be January now.
They don't have the box back battle scenes in this, do they?
Well, if these are available,
if
these are available now, hopefully they will get them.
I mean, individual character pieces is one thing, but if you can get the whole battle scene, that would be. I don't know that I'd pay hundreds of dollars for it, but I'd be more interested.
Yeah, it's really nice. I would show it, but my internet is acting up. Darn you, internet! Gotta get a new computer which fixes all my other problems. Then the internet pops up. Can't win.
Nope.
Cannot win. So, jumping to third-party news. Let's see here. So, there's apparently the X2 Toys NOT Impactor figure, which is called XT006 Firing Pin, has a semi-automatic pellet cannon.
This seems like just as good an idea as the reissue Mania King having a laser pointer in its cannon. Now, if you could combine the two and get a laser-guided pellet gun, I think you would achieve the maximum, contradiction to toy safety standards possible.
Yeah. Only if it fired from a rocket pack on the back of the figure.
I think they're saving that for the G2 redo.
I have the laser cannon, so maybe I can just, peg those two together.
I knew where you were going, Don.
Duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, also, I can't pull it up again because of my internet. Apologies. X-Transbots Haas, final production images for NOT Gobot Road Ranger. I like any sort of Gobot homage that I can get.
Well, then
I'm
this
so
is for
sick
you.
of this mold.
Yeah, it's kind of tired at this point.
Yeah, but think about how much money they probably sank into developing it. They got to try to. I mean, it's the same problem Hasbro has, and nobody's immune.
Yeah. Speaking of KFC's Citizen Stack repaint, what is it? EAVI Metal Phase 3, or Citizen Die Stack, or whatever they're calling him. He is the Diaclone colored Citizen Stack figure, basically powered convoy. This is the one that I want, and
It looks so good.
And I hate them for it. And I was hoping that there'd be all these QC problems with Citizen Stack, so I wouldn't buy it. And there's not.
Nice.
So other than it costing $190, I don't really have a excuse not
No,
to get it.
it's 160.
It's
for
160
for this one.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yes, 160, and I've got the second version, Brian, that I think of the regular stacks. I can find no QC issues on mine at all. Now, I haven't transformed it religiously every day.
You
but
should.
But the few times I've transformed it, I've had no problems.
Darn them. Okay, I guess I'll get it. Okay, I want it. I can't show it, but I want it. And let's see. The last item that I have up is the Toy World Dinobot Combiner team. We have like a couple of shots of like what the feet look like. Yay!
Now, when was this announced?
I
Because
don't know. I lose track.
Long time ago.
Yeah, apparently,
it
like
was.
January a year ago, it was first announced, and I think this is the first time we're actually seeing like product.
Because I remember it vaguely, but I don't remember any specifics, so it must have been a while back.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, so before we jump to break, a question came up during the chat. I don't think I mentioned this, but I have my pre-order, or have my shipping email from BBTS that Skybite and Roadbuster shipped. And the question came up: which am I most forward? Which one am I looking to the most? And I'm sort of torn. Roadbuster looks great, but Skybite is Skybite, so I don't know. I really want Roadbuster. Looks freaking awesome, but so did Whirl. So, but having a Whirl, no matter what the quality's like, to go with Roadbuster is pretty great. But Skybite,
And Whirl's not even that bad.
he's not awful. No, he's not Rhinox, but he's not. Yeah. He's not. He's not that bad.
Other than Whirl's shoulders, I really haven't had a problem.
My biggest,
you can account for the shoulders anyway.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with Whirl is that they've repainted him into Shockwave.
Yes, that's terrible.
Yeah. That's bad. That's just,
That doesn't really affect Whirl.
I
though.
know.
I can't see the logic in that situation.
I know.
But he has one eye.
He has one eye, and he's
that's exactly. He's got one eye, and if you squint and tilt your head a little bit, the cockpit sort of looks like Shockwave's chest on its side.
Yep, but I guess I have to say I'm most looking forward to Skybite because I love Skybite. So what about you guys? Who are you looking forward to the most?
Roadbuster.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Roadbuster.
Why?
I need him to fill out my record shelf.
Okay,
and
so like
it's going to look really awesome next to Whirl.
Well, I mean there is that, but like with Skybite, we already have a pretty nice Skybite toy, which has a lot more paint than this one ever will.
Yeah.
And
so are you talking about the original Skybite, which is still fine, or the BotCon Skybite, which is fine?
The original one. I tend to forget the BotCon one exists. I mean, I like the Energon Sharkticon mold just fine. I just kind of forget that they did a Skybite off of it. No, I'm thinking of the original Mega figure,
it's great.
Which had the beautiful paint work because, Takara budget and it was all done and everything, and they could actually release it with all that paint in Robots in Disguise.
TM2 Cyber Shark wasn't bad.
No, it just got dressed up a whole lot nicer in the new deco.
Yeah.
But like what I've seen of the new Skybite, it doesn't look as nice physically, and of course the deco is really lacking too. And I don't like that they made the shark mode look like it's in the middle of a jump.
But that's what Skybite did. Is he he was dynamic.
I know, but I mean, at least the Cyber Shark one, it was curved to the side, so you could still like set it down.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's Skybite. Skybite.
Well, I know, and I'm gonna get one anyway, but it's not the one I'm most looking forward to.
So, I got a chance to see, what was it, Don? What was the name of the NOT Roadbuster that you have? Revolver. I expect all of these, at least when you consider price, to be way better than all of those figures.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, between the two right now, I'm looking more forward to Skybite. The main reason is I have a problem with Roadbuster with the wheels on the front of the arms. That's just I just don't like that aesthetic on him. And Revolver has the same problem, but the way the figure's designed, it's not near as noticeable or glaring. Plus, Revolver's a Power Master technically, so there's always that.
That's pretty cool. Actually, I was at your house. I was actually looking at Defender, not Revolver. So, who I looked at it and I'm like, is this? I actually had to ask if that was the Hasbro version. It was pretty darn nice.
Yeah, but I'm looking
Defender.
Skybite.
Yeah,
the Fans Project Springer. But I'm looking more forward to Skybite. But I'll probably pick up Roadbuster later on, especially if there's a sale going on. But right now, I'm happier with Revolver as it is.
I'm just kind of glad we saw and learned about the Hasbro Roadbuster before it came to a point where, well, I better get in on Revolver if I want one, because this stuff always disappears.
The bad thing about Revolver is because of the twins that you could have bought separately that had all the extra armor, you are missing that. Mm-hmm. I know a third party is doing the armor add-ons that came with the twins from the Fans Project set. But that's one strike against Revolver is if you don't get the twins, you don't get that extra armor. At least not up until the new set comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Diecast, what about you?
I have no alliance with Roadbuster, I guess you could say. So Skybite, I at least remember in media. So I'm kind of more looking forward to Skybite, but I can't wait to get them both in hand just to see the transformation.
Monday. Actually, let me check my shipping, my tracking. Maybe that got changed. Maybe I'll get that Friday too.
Well, if you only got the shipping notice today, probably it's sitting on a pallet when we picked up tonight. So.
Darn it, Monday. Darn it.
Yep. I'm frustrated because this at Big Bad Toy Store has been pretty good about, as soon as I hit ship my loot, they usually ship it that same day. And I hit mine like first thing this morning before they were even open, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll definitely get a shipping notice today." No, it's still stuck in the warehouse.
If you just didn't do a pile of loot, you would be okay.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, that does tend to save you quite a bit on shipping though. So that does help.
Yeah, but with the reviews now, I've been wanting the stuff right away. That way, I can film it right away. That way, it's not late. But
yeah, I totally get what you're saying. But yeah, so the answer is Skybite. Any sensible person would want Skybite. I'm kidding. I do want Skybite because I do freaking love Skybite. But it will be nice to get Roadbuster, because Roadbuster is one of those G1 figures that I've always wanted, but I never actually broke down and got because I am certainly not a G1 completist. And this will make a very nice, alternative. Actually, I've pretty much fallen into the camp that basically just wants the best version of the character / toy that I can get. Okay, let's go ahead and take a break, and we will jump to Q&A with Rob Springer. After that, we will come back and have our trivia challenge. Rob is talking this week about Transformers trademarks. That's sure to be great. We will be back in just a minute. Actually, 11 minutes, but who's counting?
You boys a bit bored? Snap into it! Snap into a Slim Jim!
Hey guys, it's Rob, and this week's question comes from our friend Bumblebee360. Bumblebee360 goes on to ask, I'm sorry, I'm playing with a toy while I'm doing this. Goes on to ask, hey Rob, how come sometimes Hasbro changes the names to weird stuff? For example, Shrapnel is now Scrapnel, and that grapple that came out a few years ago is Solar Storm Grapple. P.S. I did just drive around in a circle because you mentioned it. Thanks. Well, I guess I'm not the only one who thought that was funny. Well, I was actually playing with Scrapnel, air quotes, while I was reading that. The reason they do that is simple, and that is copyright laws are horribly unfair. And that's really it. It's not because Hasbro's or any other toy companies not capable of handling their own trademarks and names. It's just that things change. Now, if they don't use a copyrighted or trademarked name, a registered name, if they don't use it within a certain amount of time, they lose it. And even then, when it goes back up for them to renew it, like they only get it for a few years, copyright or whatever, the law could have changed since they last bought it. So the bureaucrats who run the thing could have changed the names, like these are untrademarkable names because they're too common of a word. That's why you get some things like Autobot Jazz or Decepticon Hook and stuff like that, because jazz is a form of music. You know, Hook is a common utility tool. You know, Shrapnel is a common word. You know, it's to tie into what I was talking about last week. In war, when something explodes, you got flying shrapnel. So that's basically, sometimes words become untrademarkable even for an action figure name because it becomes deemed that it's not right to trademark a common use name. That's pretty much why we don't have Hot Rod anymore, because whoever they've been submitting them to has once said, no, that's too common of a word, you can't trademark common English. And you know, these things change and they come and go. So who knows, maybe years down the road when they gotta resubmit them, they can get those names back. Now sometimes they lose the names. Like for example, Ravage. They lost Ravage during the Beast era, which makes no sense because you figure, excuse me, I just ate, now I'm burping. You figure that makes no sense, being that Ravage was already a beast-ish robot. And you know what, it doesn't. Well, here's the thing. The last time they used Ravage was in 1984. And they didn't make a Ravage toy in G2. You know, there's Ravage memorabilia, like merchandising and all that, but that falls in a different category. The last, it was like there was a Ravage action figure in '84, and I think it got re-released a few times, but that was it. So when it came time to making a new Ravage, that name done slipped, and let's face it, they weren't planning for it to be a long-running thing. You know, they were planning to sell toys for a few years. Actually, I remember reading an article not long ago from the 80s where it was completely surprising to the writer that a toy line had lasted as long as Transformers had, and it had only been around for a few years. Like, you had your toy lines like G.I. Joe that were pretty evergreen at the time, and that was like it. You know, Star Wars lasted a while, but not long after Return of the Jedi, it tapered off about a year or two later. You know, they tried to expand it a little, but it didn't last that much longer. You know, toy lines just didn't last forever and a day like they do now. So basically they were, okay, it's over. You know, they tried to bring it back in Generation 2, and obviously they didn't use all the names that they had. You know, they didn't make a tape player Soundwave again. You know, so they were, as far as they were concerned, no need to make another one. And then they come up in Beast Wars, they can't use Ravage. You know? And that's why in like Energon, the Beast Wars Ravage toy is Tripredicus Agent, because they couldn't get, they named him after his function, after his role in the cartoon. Energon came around, they called him like Battle Ravage, And he had to go by that for a few years, which was a lot easier to say than Tripredicus Agent. Because I don't know about you guys, but for the longest I couldn't pronounce that. I kept saying Tripredicus. Just because it looked funny to me written, you know? Even though they said it on the show once or twice, and for some reason I couldn't get it out of my mouth exactly right. And imagine being a 9-year-old. So, we had Battle Ravage for a while. Now I think he's Decepticon Ravage or Saboteur, you know, stuff like that. Bumblebee, they lost Bumblebee. That's why for a while we just didn't have one, because after G2 there wasn't going to be one. And once again, I saw some posters for Beast Wars where they planned to use some of the old names, and for a point there they planned on using the Bumblebee name, but they lost it. Someone else had trademarked it. You know, these companies, they aren't playing fair. The minute they get to snap up something from another company, they go after it, because they're, you know, all's fair in love and war, and business is war. They are fighting for those dollars. People often say, oh, anything for $1, hey, Hasbro or Mattel or whatever. Like, yeah, they literally exist for nothing but to take your money. You know, they're literally making stuff to sell, and they will do anything to sell it. Anything. So if going and stealing a name helps them jab the competitor, then it helps them jab the competitor. You know, for a while, I remember for a while, Bumblebee was like, when they first brought him back, the spacing was different. It was like Bumble, like Space Bee, or Autobot Bumble Bee, stuff like that. And Jazz, he was Autobot Jazz. You know, for a while they did do the Autobot and Decepticon names, and I think they got out of that. From what I understand, somebody in the higher-ups wanted to get away from that because it could only be used for that. You know, these registering names is expensive. And, you know, there's a G.I. Joe named Mainframe. You know, Sideswipe. There's a G.I. Joe named Mainframe. There's an Action Master named Mainframe. They like to reuse the names when they can because they're expensive. I mean, it sounds kind of lazy, but if you got two different toy lines with same names, why not? I'm kind of humorously wondering when the time we're going to see a My Little Pony named like Inferno, or a Transformer named Twilight Sparkle. You know, it's just it's funny, but it might happen one day where they use one of those names and won't notice, because, well, maybe the ponies might get noticed, but they'll just kind of shift it around just to keep those trademarks and use them, because if they don't use them at a certain time, they'll lose them anyway. They can't renew them. You know, they're not allowed to just trademark it, apparently, for commercial products. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's how I've come to understand it. So someone had decreed not to just use Autobot, Decepticon Shrapnel, and yada yada. So we got like Special Agent Jazz, which could be used for G.I. Joe also, if need be. Or if they made a Decepticon named Jazz, which, hey, there's a Decepticon named Wheeljack in Armada, you know. They could say Special Agent Jazz. Or they could call a box set full of figures the Special Agent Jazz set. And that sounds stupid, but if you look at some of those Marvel figures, the name of the character's not on the box. They just released it as Marvel Knight or something, and they just left it off because they're like, we can't trademark this as a figure. We can't trademark Cloak as a figure. So he's just a figure under the Marvel Knights line. However they can put it out, you know who it is. Shrapnel, I guess they... Scrapnel. That could be used for a couple of different toys. Sure, in Transformers it's one guy. G.I. Joe, it could be another. They might have something online, like some other toy line. They could use Scrapnel there. Maybe in another country there might be a pony named Scrapnel. I mean, you never know. Solar Storm Grapple. I wasn't there. I don't know why they chose to misspell grapple. Grapple. I guess that was the only way they could make it clear. And I know that they have to pay each time they submit these claims. So, bare bones, it's the business of trademark law and copyright law being a really fickle and pain in the butt thing to go through. And all businesses have to go through it. And I know of Fisto from Masters of the Universe was called King Fist at one point, which is an even more weird name. It's like, That's not an appropriate name. Kingfist, now that's appropriate. It is what it is. Just kind of be patient with it. Essentially how it goes is there's a name on the box. You know who it is. And, think about it this way. If you go buy a third-party toy, I don't know what the hell a Hegemon is, but I know that's Megatron in a box. Now, this is an official source, but they have to deal with the trademark and naming conventions, too. So, Scrapnel is not too far removed from Shrapnel. So, it works out that way, at least. A little bit. So, I hope that answers your question, Bumblebee 360. Hey, please keep them coming. And hey, everybody, Rob at tfradio.net. Send your questions there, or send them to our various social medias. If you go to tfradio.net, you'll find our shows and show times and ways to contact us, our social medias, yada yadas. There's a yada yada. And you can check out transformersdom.com, our new blog, where I'm trying my best to keep something going a couple times a week. I know Kilby's trying to too. When you work, sometimes you're busy to. Life gets in the way sometimes of your hobbies. I'm sure a lot of you understand that. I brain farted. Robo Rob Springer on Twitter. Follow me. See me complaining about a hamburger. Yeah. I think I covered it all. I'm gonna get ready for work now. So, thanks everybody for watching. See you later. Let's go back to the gang.
Radio Free Cybertron has teamed up with Kokomo Toys and Collectibles in Kokomo, Indiana. If you're in the Kokomo area, visit our store for a huge selection of new and classic toys. Visit online at www.kokomotoys.com for our address and store hours. While you're there, check out our listing of pre-order items, as well as visit our eBay store. Visit us at www.kokomotoys.com. That's KOKOMOTOYS.com. We're also on Facebook. You can hear our show on Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher allows you to listen to your favorite shows directly from your iPhone, Android phone, BlackBerry, or Palm phones. On demand and on the go. Don't have Stitcher? Download it for free today at Stitcher.com or in the app stores. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
So we are back. What I'm laughing about is I'm on a new PC, and which is great because the old one died. And everything crashed, though, in the middle of... if you're watching the video, you almost certainly could tell. If you're watching live, you're like, why did the stream die? It's because...
To be fair, though, between Ustream and YouTube, people are saying that 3 or 4 times every week anyway.
That's true. But pretty much everything crashed, so hopefully I will be able to recover it. Otherwise, you're not hearing or listening or watching this, so... But yeah, that would be great. So, this past weekend, I did mention this before... I did that Transformers Trivia Challenge, and I tried... let me go into a little more detail. So I was going in with the expectation that children would be the audience. The convention is heavily focused on kids. Raises awareness. This is a sad statement that I just pulled out of my butt, but it's true. It raises the awareness of science fiction in the community. Usually you're supposed to raise awareness of like issues and stuff. This helps make kids aware of sci-fi, and it's awesome. My cousin does a great job with this. But yeah, so I was expecting kids, but I also worried that there would be some sort of hardcore Transformers nerd, like an alternate universe me, or like someone that I would probably end up hating because they're so much like me, which I tend to do. If I meet somebody that's too much like me, I kind of hate them. I can't help it. I would not.
Well, now you know what it's like for the rest of us on the outside, Brian.
I know. Anybody who wants to be anybody who stays my friend, they're a special person. And I try to at least once a year thank all my Facebook friends for staying my friend, because I would not be my own friend. No, not like that, Diecast. So no, not at all. So, I can't say what he just typed. So, but basically, I was worried that some sort of Transformers nerd ringer was going to come in. So I also added some harder questions, but I mean, honestly, I knew all the answers, so I came up with the questions. So it's kind of self-selecting that way. To me, though, these are pretty easy. But not every question was answered, but most were. And I was really pleased that, at least with a few of them, like young kids, like really young kids, answered them. But it mostly did break down to this guy who's a father, probably 30s or 40s, and this other guy, I think he was in his 20s. He was wearing a G1 shirt, and G1 hat. I was really worried that he was going to like completely throw this off balance, but he didn't. He won. His team won, but it was really competitive and really fun. So I was really pleased with that. But I'm going to challenge you, my co-hosts, and the listeners with these questions. So
in the old days, this would have been a Peter on the spot.
It would have been a Peter on the spot. But so part of this is actually named that Transformer, and I can't do that since this is a podcast. But later on, I actually may do a video where I recorded the answers to this, and it was pretty fun. And I can overlay the slides with that. I may do that later on, but not in the show. That may be something that we do next week. That was pretty fun, so we'll actually see how that goes. But let's go ahead and jump to the first question. You guys better get all of these. I will be so disappointed if you don't. Question 1, and give a second before you answer. Traditionally, who is the leader of the Autobots? A, Megatron, B, Ultra Magnus, C, Optimus Prime, or D, Starscream? And I did say to the team that won, or the team that got this question, which is ultimately the team that won, I'm like, you better know this. I said that several times through the course of this. So, what is the answer?
For some reason, I'm thinking Starscream.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, is this a trick question? Because I didn't see Rodimus Prime on the ballot.
Yeah, exactly. So that, of course, is Optimus Prime. You know that. So, God, this may not even be worth doing. So, question 2. What's the name of the human heroes from Transformers Prime? Is it A, Spike, Carly, and Chip, B, Jack, Raph, and Miko, C, Chip, Dale, and Gadget, or D, Paul, John, Ringo, and George?
Well, I would like to see D applied at some point down the line in fiction.
Wouldn't that be great?
Don, you want to take this one?
I think we should defer to Don for this one, because I think he knows of these characters.
I didn't watch a lot of Prime, but I think it was Jack, Miko, and Raph.
There you go. This next one they did not get. And it's kind of a trick question, but they didn't get it. Question 3. We already talked about this, so you know it. What's the name of the new Transformer series beginning in 2015? A, Beast Hunters, B, Robots in Disguise, C, More Than Meets the Eye, or D, Cybertron? Okay, let's jump to question 4. This one was a little harder, but in fact, actually, no, it's not, because the answer is obvious. So I hopefully I'm not insulting any of our listeners who actually don't know this. If you don't, you might want to listen to another podcast. I think TFG1 Mike has a Transformers podcast. So no offense to TFG1 Mike, I'm just saying. So question 4. Which Decepticon was not featured in the 2007 Transformers movie? A, Starscream, B, Megatron, C, The Fallen, or D, Scorponok?
Scorponok.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
The Fallen. Okay, so maybe these are
Melbar can't answer. He didn't watch any of the movies.
Okay.
No, I've seen the first one, sadly.
I did not excited.
That's why he's not watching any of the other ones.
I honestly,
I thought that was Revenge of the Fallen, because the Fallen was one of the options.
He was. That's the answer. Scorponok was the first Decepticon.
It's in the first movie.
He's the first Decepticon we see, or the second.
Damn it.
Yeah, he is the first.
Scorponok doesn't transform into anything, though, right?
No, he only transforms in the toy line.
Yeah.
Just like Ravage.
So, question 5. I honestly didn't expect this one to be answered, but it was by the kid in the Transformers hat. What is the name of the Japanese Transformers cartoon featuring robots whose heads transform into smaller robots? Is it A, Master Force, B, Headmasters, C, Transformers 2000, or D, Car Robots?
God, I wish it had been Car Robots. That would have been even better.
So, yeah, it's Headmasters. So, question 6. God, these are just too easy. This one was answered. Question 6. What is the name of the voice actor who voices Optimus Prime in the movies Generation 1 and Transformers Prime? Is it A, Gary Chalk, B, Peter Cullen, C, Scott McNeil, or D, David Kaye?
Oh, I see Neil Kaplan didn't rate enough to get into the question.
I should have put Neil in there. Why didn't I?
I thought it was Barack Obama.
No, he's not. Actually, he has a Grammy for spoken word. So, President Obama, actually, he's the only president that I know of that has a Grammy for doing, I think, the audiobook of his autobiography. So that would be pretty cool. Okay, so maybe I should stop doing these. No, I'm going to keep going. So, question 7. You better know this. Which of these characters has not been a leader of the Autobots? A, Grimlock, B, Rodimus Prime, C, Ultra Magnus, or D, Chrome Dome?
Well, that's...
I'm the leader of the Headmasters. Chrome Dome.
Well, the Headmasters can't fight without Chrome Dome.
What's the matter with the Headmasters? Can't they fight without Chrome Dome? Yeah, okay.
So did anybody actually get this question right?
Yes, the Transformers Nerd Kid got this.
Okay.
I was pleased by that. So question 8, what is the name of the Maximal and Predacon leaders in Transformers Beast Wars? A, Optimus Prime and Megatron, B, Cheetor and Waspinator, C, Optimus Primal and Megatron, and D, Grimlock and Scorponok. This one, a young kid, like 7 or 8, got the answer. I was super...
Thanks, Netflix.
I was super pleased by that. Obviously, it's C. Let's see here. Question 9. In the Generation 1 cartoon, which of these characters was not a Dinobot? Swoop, Grimlock, Scourge, or Sludge? Obviously, it's Sludge.
Scourge.
I'm kidding.
You should have thrown Strafe in there, honestly.
I thought about doing Strafe or
Trick
Paddles.
question.
You get those kids all mixed up.
Yeah.
No, I just saw Strafe.
I should have done that. Question 10, last question. What is the name of the evil Transformer bounty hunter in the new Transformers movie, Age of Extinction? Is it A, Lockdown, B, Devcon, C, Cyclonus, or D, Hotshot?
E,
Devcon.
Death's Head.
Yeah, it's Death's Head. I was surprised.
Decepticon Bounty Hunter Hotshot. That kind of works without context.
Yeah, I know. I was actually honestly surprised that one of the 6-year-old kids got this, which means one of his parents took him to see that movie, which means they're a terrible parent.
Yeah. Yeah, remember how pleased I was when that one actor said, this movie's not for kids.
Yeah, it's not.
But then they forced him to retract it.
Yeah. No offense to the people listening whose kids went to the movies with them. I'm certain you're actually a great parent. You're one of those great parents who probably gave them context before, after, and during the movie. Like he didn't kill him. He loves him. They're really good friends. No. Sorry. Or the parents covered.
Love is a shotgun blast to the face.
Or covered his eyes.
He needs an adult.
He's tired. He's not dead. His arm just fell off. Yeah. Okay.
It's a flesh wound.
Yeah. So, question. not going to ask you these, but for video viewers, I'll just sort through these while we talk. It was name that Transformer. I'll show a couple of these, but I'm going to leave this for next week, I think. The actual presentation. The first two were Springer. I focused entirely on the toys. I tried to focus on iconic characters from a series like Swoop. Everybody should know who Swoop is if they know anything about the Dinobots. And
Swoop.
Yeah, and Springer, who was on the shelf recently. And of course, kids. They got that. I was really pleased by that.
Probably still on the shelf.
Yeah. One that nobody got, and it pissed me off, was Dinobot.
Well, I can see that. I mean, Beast Wars was over 10 years ago.
But the 7-year-old kids flipping knew.
Right, got the leader question correct.
Kid said Starscream. I'm like, Then the Transformers nerd kid, who may be listening to this, hello Transformers nerd kid, I really like you. He said he didn't like Beast Wars, and I had to convince him that it's the best series and he needs to pay attention to it.
Go watch it on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one. It's the one to watch. So the last 4 questions were open-ended. They did not have multiple choice answers. I'm going to ask you guys this. You have to tell me the answer. These are a little hard. No, they're not harder. I think all of these got answered. Except for one. No. Actually, yeah, one of them didn't, and it made me sad. So I'll tell you which one. Question 1. What is the name of the wrecker from Transformers Dark of the Moon that transforms into the Lowe's Team 48 race car? I wonder why I asked that.
Oh, the Lowe's one. Yeah. Oh, God.
You guys don't know it?
Top Spin.
I didn't watch that movie, so...
It's Top Spin. Don's right.
I can't remember which 3 wreckers were in the movie.
Top Spin, Leadfoot, and Dale Jr.
Leadfoot was the one I remembered.
Roadbuster.
It's Roadbuster.
Dale Jr.
I call him Dale Jr. So, question 2. What is the name of the Transformers video game published in 2010 by Activision and developed by High Moon Studios? I mean, that one's obvious. And that one they got.
Something of Cybertron.
Yeah, so the first person guessed Fall of Cybertron, and I knew that somebody would guess that. So that's the reason I asked what was the first game in the series. Of course, it's War for Cybertron. Okay, so question 3. According to Generation 1 and Transformers Prime, what was Optimus Prime's name before he became leader of the Autobots?
Well, that's easy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Orion Pax.
Yeah, but...
what you should have asked is what the Dreamwave pre-Optimus name was.
Yes. Oh, the Dream... I thought they were going to say IDW. I'm like, it's still Orion Pax.
No. Dreamwave gave him a different name.
What was it? I didn't even know.
Optronics.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's what they used for Shattered Glass Prime's name, I think.
Thankfully, I never read anything beyond the 4-issue miniseries and Armada. I read Armada. So, question 4, and this one no one got. Made me sad. The Decepticon Combiner team, the Combaticons, merged to form which gigantic super robot?
Nobody got that?
Nobody got that.
Bruticus?
No, they guessed Metasaur. Then the other team, the one that had the Transformers nerd kid, couldn't think of it. So and they had already won by this point. So I'm like, just
that
guess.
makes me sad, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
and you know what they got for winning? They got an RFC business card.
No, they got that for free. They got RFC magnets.
Oh, that's better.
And comics and stuff. So yeah. I did have a tiebreaker question. It was multiple choice. I expected no one to get to know it. Oh, crap, you stupid charms on Windows 8 just popped up on my shot. So the tiebreaker was basically what's the name of the leader of the Guardians from the GoBots, and I had a list of a bunch of names and figured that nobody would know it. They would have to just isolate down until they got it. Of course, it's leader 1, but it was fun. And I was surprised that some of these were answered, and I was really surprised that some of these weren't answered.
Yeah, how do you not get Bruticus?
I mean, I
thought you would have harder questions.
That's the combiner that's been reissued more than anything else.
And he was just on the
but
shelf.
By half of those times it was called Ruination, though. So
yeah.
No, and Diecast, he couldn't really have harder questions because it has to be more general audience accessible.
Yeah, I mean,
but when he said you guys will definitely get these questions right, I thought he meant you guys and not me.
I meant you.
I didn't think I would get these questions right.
Well, no, Diecast, you're the nearest thing we have to general audience. So
no, not at this point. Diecast is a veteran.
He's still the nearest thing we have.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I gotta agree with XV on this.
He's the most normal person that we have.
Right, general audience.
He is the most normal. If you put us in a lineup and you ask which one is a Transformers fan, he is going to be the last one picked because he looks normal.
Yeah.
It's like everybody else except for Melvar's not fat, but
we're
fat and balding.
Melvar's pretty normal looking.
Melvar is normal looking, so it's a toss up between the two.
Yeah.
Actually,
Amy is normal looking. John
Yeah,
really.
Amy-
I would never think that John was a Transformers fan if I didn't know.
Yeah, it just
Compared
depends
to
what
me,
kind of
all
hat you're
four-
wearing that day.
Yeah.
Compared to me, all four of y'all are normal. They look at me and like, nerd!
And nerds do that. When I walk into your house, I'm like, nerd!
And Massey just jerked his head and looked at him.
I may not have said it, but I think I was thinking it. I'm like, oh my god, Don's a nerd. Don has like Dan Kana art like in his living room.
I don't even know who Dan Kana is.
He's a guy.
See, that's because you're general audience, I guess.
He does a lot of. You remember Diecast?
He's a
the
Transformers
artwork?
fan who does art.
Yeah, you remember the artwork that I put up in the link on in the chat? The framed artwork I have, the black and white line art. I put that up once or twice in the chat. That's his artwork.
Dan Kana is a fan who basically was the official artist for BotCon
For
when
years.
it was 3.8. He's
Yeah.
done. He's
He's the one
done
that-
design work for FunPub. I mean, he still gets around, just not quite as much anymore. He was like one of the first, like I guess, really notable fan artists. I would say before we had. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying if you look at the BotCon Tigertron artwork on the back of the box, that's his.
Tigertron from...
Oh, wow.
BotCon 1.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to see that.
You could.
Would even be hard to find if I Google that.
Oh, not really. I think.
TFWiki would have it.
But yeah, I mean, like, Dan was notable before we really had, like, Transformers comics that were pulling from the fandom for regular artists.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Don has him in his living room.
Well, not the original, but he has, a print of Dan Kana in his living
No,
room.
they're the
no,
original.
I have the original
that's
line.
a joke. He had the original Dan Kana in his living room, just a print of him.
He has,
That's just creepy.
he has like a plastinated slice.
That's why Don doesn't broadcast from his closet anymore.
He has,
That's where he's got Dan Kana trapped.
he has he has a plastinated slice of Dan Kana on his wall.
No, he's got AFA graded Dan Kana. Just Dan in an acrylic box, like.
So when I die, I'm going to be plastinated, and I'm going to sell slices of me, to.
You're doing the Ferengi thing.
Yeah, the Ferengi
Yeah.
thing.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so I don't have anything else. I guess that's the show for
That's
this week.
good.
I guess that's the show.
So we picked on Diecast. We asked a bunch of easy questions, and my computer crashed.
Pick on Don a little bit.
Haven't picked on Melvar.
We never pick on Melvar though. He's too normal looking.
And no
Melvar's too.
Massey,
And quiet.
Well,
and no Massey attacks, well, other than the shoulder bite.
Pre-show, yeah.
So whoever is the Massey Twitter account, you misspelled his name.
Yeah,
Whoop.
and also check with me first when you do crap like this, because it really pisses me off that you didn't even bother asking first.
That's the point.
Maybe
I
they
think,
checked
Don.
with Massey.
That's true,
Well,
Don. I think that's the point.
Don is Massey's representative, so
Don,
all inquiries have to go through Don,
Be happy that somebody likes you enough to create a fake Twitter account.
or at
Don,
least like your,
I would
oh
just...
my gosh,
I
I'm
wouldn't get
popular.
Don, I wouldn't get angry. I would just assume this person thought that they know you well enough that they thought you would be cool with it.
So in other words, you did it.
I guess.
No, I did. I have way too much stuff on my plate to do that. I thought it was funny, but and when I saw it, I didn't think Don would have a problem with it.
I mean,
I didn't either.
I don't really have a problem with it, other than the person not asking first.
But they're not, no one's ever going to ask for like that. That's the point.
Oh,
Asking would be contrary to doing it. Nobody's ever going to ask. If I had to ask I didn't do it. If I had to ask somebody before I did something like that, I would never do it.
Seek forgiveness, not permission.
Exactly. But whoever you are, you might want to change his name. It's Massey. I'm assuming.
Actually,
Just Y?
yeah, just why?
Okay. Not like the fan, because the fans are called Massey.
No, just named after Massey Ferguson, the tractor people.
I have no idea who that is.
Before Your Time, maybe? I don't know. I never heard of it.
I don't know. Okay, so that's the show for this week. Big news starting next week. Rob Springer's back.
Yay!
His schedule
wait a minute. That means I'm getting kicked off, doesn't it?
No. No, we're gonna have a reality show to figure out who gets kicked off. No, nobody's being kicked off.
It's I was the temporary Rob Springer, and now it's like bye on.
So I do try to pay attention to like dynamic and who's on and who knows what. And who has what opinion and context. And in that respect, you were, but you and Rob, your personalities are so different that I can't wait to have you guys on together each week. I'm excited about that.
It would be more likely that I would.
We could have a Dawn off.
Yes, we need to have a Dawn off now.
Oh my God, we never got to see that.
Oh.
I know, but
with
I
JD.
know, but we really want. Yeah.
I could pull out recordings of JD.
Well, true, and I have some too. Yeah, but in that case, I mean, we just award it to JD posthumously because
you have to.
Yeah. Well, it looks like I'll be an exclusive act on TFYLP here before too long.
No, Don. No. You're going to be around. No, you're good.
Based on the whole dynamic.
For all my follower.
Based on the whole dynamic thing, I think if anybody was going to get excluded in favor of Rob Springer, it would be me because, knowledge and personality were probably the most similar.
You and Rob do not have a remotely personality at all. Remotely similar personality.
No, but we're both assholes too, and that's close enough.
But I just sit here and don't say anything most of the time, so I'd probably go.
I think if we had to kick somebody off, I would probably kick somebody off video. Still just have them on, because I only have 6 slots total. This is 5.
Yeah.
Like if Amy was on, oh God, Skype farted.
I thought Melvar just volunteered to be taken off video.
No. No. But no, like when Rob plays on his video, he usually has some internet issues, so I just take Rob off the video and he's just on in the background. So literally, if anything had to adjust, I would probably just bounce somebody off video each week. Whoever had the worst internet connection that day would probably be me. But
Mr. Only 5 minutes.
Yeah, all you need to do is like anchor shots at the beginning and end, and you don't even really need to be part of the multi-window.
That's true. I could do that.
Well, you know what you could do, Brian? When you get your computer sorted, have like 12 of us on here. Push that sucker to the max.
Oh, the computer.
Well, make it work.
The computer would do it, but Skype wouldn't.
Yeah, it's not a computer problem. It's the software. It can't support all that.
Oh.
Yeah, how the hell can Skype not support, more than 6 people nowadays? That's
It'll do 10. It'll do 10, I thought.
Oh, it'll do 10?
No, it's just that the real estate on a 1280 by 720 screen video panel is... I want to limit it to 6.
Well, we can always go to Google Plus.
No.
No, Google Plus is horrible with the video switching back and forth.
Yeah, XSplit hates Google Plus.
You can manually lock the video you're looking at, but that doesn't help a lot.
No, because then it's that one video,
Right.
No, couldn't do it.
I was kidding. I know it's not. It's
Google
not
Plus for the Hangout, really good. Google Plus
because you're not because that's not having to be structured the same way.
I mean,
exactly.
Google Plus can still stream to YouTube. So I mean, you could skip the XSplit part of it if you had to, and just make it work bare bones.
But I have so much invested in that. I'm just going to take a bad process and just force it to work because I spent money.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be more like an emergency backup thing if everything else failed.
Well, that's true. We've used that before. So
yeah.
But yeah. Rob Springer comes back. Don goes away. Don's going to be sick the next few years, and ignore his tweets.
We'll see him at TFCon.
The chat says Don seems to give more effort on TFYLP anyway. So
you do.
Whoa!
What?
What?
Don, I'm disappointed in you.
What podcast are they watching?
Don.
I actually heard Don say the same things on TFLYP that he said with us, and I was like, I can't watch Don again. It's just like, it's like watching a repeat.
Don.
So
Don reruns.
Don. I'm heartbroken.
Hey, no.
Well, it's just like when JD gave more effort to superhero time in RFC.
That's true.
He just found some ways he fit in a little bit better, and
But JD just stopped appearing on RFC though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
well, that's the ultimate non-effort you can give.
Maybe I'll just stop doing this at 400, and I'll start doing that Star Trek podcast.
Okay.
I will say this. I have repeated myself on TFYLP, but with that being a different dynamic, you get a completely different follow-up conversation in some cases.
Or yeah, that's true. I mean, it's different people, different points of view. I totally get that.
And it's sort of interesting to see how they take a point of view that I have and destroy it versus the way y'all take my
how
point
we
of view.
destroy it, right?
Exactly. It's very interesting to compare and contrast.
That is perfect.
But at least in that way, you have consistency in your life.
Yes.
We love you, Don.
Yes.
It's always good to have. It's always good to have more people tell you you're wrong.
I don't
Have
get
they
it working
started
there
timing you
enough.
out?
Don,
Have they started timing you out?
Not yet.
Okay.
if they do, I'm going to have to start talking to Duran to just tell him that he can't do that. That's
our thing.
trademark RFC.
Yeah.
That's the line he has to cross.
Weird Wolf
And
cannot. put him in timeout.
Massey's not allowed to attack you during TLYP.
Oh, tell him that. Tell innocent sleeping kitty on the back of the sofa over
He's
there.
so cute. He did not attack you once when I was there.
And he actually...
That's because there's no camera.
He was saying, "Wait till your friend's gone. I'm gonna."
Yeah, he couldn't do it with witnesses. I mean,
Don is a battered wife.
He actually...
Don is Cyclonus.
He's tall enough.
Yeah.
He's tall enough.
Oh
to
God,
Cyclonus.
Don is super tall enough to be Cyclonus. Massey's
Don, how
Galvatron.
tall are you? 6'4"?
6'3".
Okay, I was close.
Don is awesome.
See,
Yeah, I mean, you are a large fellow. Like, you are really tall.
You're like Rob Springer tall.
yeah. The
Or
last
Rob
time...
Clay's tall. Rob Clay is really tall too.
Rob is really tall too.
Yeah, Rob.
Rob Clay is a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when
God, I'm
Brian was
short.
here, Massey was the first person he's gone up to and requested pettings. He would got up and laid right there next to Brian.
I'm a cat person. I get
Brian
it.
let him, yeah.
I don't
It's
pet
like-
if he's growling. I don't pet him. I know not to.
That doesn't make you a cat person. That makes
I'm just saying. I know not to pet him. He was like making these noises. And I was like, I'm trying to pet you, Massey. I don't know why did you let me petting you, Massey? Yeah, kind of funny.
Yeah, that doesn't make you a cat person. It just makes you able to read animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which,
so
to be fair, is not a universal talent.
that's true.
That dog is growling at me and showing its teeth.
That-
Maybe I should
That
go
dog
over
has
and
foam
pet it.
coming out of its mouth.
Yeah, that's like
It's happy.
Get off.
Oh God. Okay, that's me. That's me pretty much with dogs. If the dog is as big as I am, I need to be away from it. That's a damn big dog, but I mean, hey, I love dogs.
Have you ever seen a Great Pyrenees?
No, I know somebody
That's
has
a damn big dog.
I know somebody has a Great Dane that it was about 225 pounds or something. It was a pretty big dog. Max is 10 pounds. And Charlie and Chester are about 80 pounds each, and that's about as far as I want to go with a dog.
Yeah, that's pretty big too.
Yeah, they're medium-sized dogs.
I mean, it's still reasonably big. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
They're good dogs. They're good boys. I love those guys. I gave Max a haircut over the course of the last 2 days. That was very difficult. Just
I
saying.
bet.
Yeah, just saying. Okay, so we are completely... This is not Animal Planet. It's Radio Free Cybertron, and I guess that will do it for the show this week. Don will miss you. You know, you go back to your home planet,
Cyberton.
Cyberton.
Go-
Cyberdon.
Go over Don.
Cyberdon.
XV, you're going to be back next week with Rob on.
Rob Springer's going to be here.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably at least be back for his return
Yeah,
show.
and John should be on next week, so we're going to have a really packed show next week. It's going to be great.
And then next week you can just hand me the flowers, and I'll take the flowers. And
No, Don. Even though you got
Since-
slashed up midsection and cast into a river, doesn't necessarily mean you're off the show.
Yeah, Don, we can't get rid of you.
You've tried, I know.
It's like, whoops, Skype just screwed up. Don, for some reason I can't bring you back on the call. I don't know why. Okay, I guess that'll do it. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
All right. Everybody take care.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Thank you.
This has been Radio Free Cybertron. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Watch our live stream at tfradio.net/live. Join our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/tfradio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TF Radio Network. Have a question or comment? Leave it on our Facebook fan page or mail it to contact@tfradio.net. This podcast is released under a Creative Commons license. Any part of this podcast can and should be redistributed, but please, proper attribution is required if you know what's good for you. Jeez, when are these guys ever going to move out of their parents' basements?